Hello and welcome to Your Unique Career Personality Blueprint. Today we are going over your prosperity key. So it's not just any prosperity key. We're not talking about general prosperity. We're discussing your unique way of how you are actually designed to be prosperous. What could it be? What could it be? It's pretty exciting. So your prosperity key is essentially your overall way of how do you feel most prosperous, not just money, but the whole spectrum of prosperity for you. What is that for you? And it's found in your conscious personal law and protection in your BG5 career design chart. So if you download that at bg5businessinstitute.com, you can get it for free. And then if you look under the line L, you will see your conscious personal law and protection. So we're going to start with that today, and then we'll go into your I'm going to think of what it's called off the top of my head, your life lesson, and then what keeps you healthy and your personal health and energy and vitality. And then we'll get into, depending on how much time we have, we will get into your embodied purpose, or what makes you feel a deep sense of fulfillment when you're on track. And what is that for you? And so we're going to be looking at the qualities or the lines, which gives you kind of added detail into your trait. So the trait is the number in your body graph chart that relates with the codon, specific codon in your DNA, and where it is in relation to your body. And then the line or the quality of it gives you further definition and detail in it. And those lines go 1 through 6. So depending on where it is in the trait, it has specific qualities for different parts of your life. And what's really cool about this design system is that it pretty much shows you the full spectrum of the human experience and all the various different things that you go through. And I've just been seeing how much in my chart there is around leadership. And when I look back at various parts of my life, I see how, like, when I've been prosperous and growing and expanding, I've been stepping into leadership and teamwork and expansion. And when I've been teaching and leading and guiding, and so getting back on camera again has been, I guess, kind of, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. And it's also, it's bringing me a sense of, I don't know, nostalgia is not the right word, but I definitely feel a new energy, but I also feel like how I felt when I was feeling very empowered doing a lot of teaching and coaching, and it's been a few years. We've all been through some stuff since the world changed in 2020. So if you are wanting to reinvent yourself, if you're wanting to kind of start again, get really more tapped into what you really enjoy doing, your natural gifts, your calling, your strengths, join us. Come on a call, and we're going to look at how you're actually designed in your energetics and the blueprint of your DNA. And it's super in-depth, and it's super amazing, and it's super accurate. So tonight we're going to start with your key to prosperity, your most natural relationship to money. And I will share my screen. All right, give me a thumbs up or send me a chat in the message, or say heck yeah if you can see my screen.
Yeah, we could see it.
Screen can be seen.
What did you say, Roman? Screen what?
I just said screen can be seen.
Oh, screen can be seen. Great. So we've covered a lot. We've gone through the lines, the public role, your brand. We went into your brand yesterday, all the different lines and expressions of your brand, your conscious core essence. And then we went into your vocation and desk work and kind of what you're designed to be doing every day. And we went into your culture, which is your allies and team and your ideal client and the structure of how you set up your business. And we had some really big ahas. It was pretty amazing. A lot of this stuff can come as like kind of a shock or resistant, but like what happened to Maureen was she was having a memorization. She was having a flashback of when she built the largest team in America, and she just somehow forgot that she had built the largest team in America when she was on the team program in Landmark. And she just remembered that when we were talking about how she's designed for number 4 there, which is a network of 15 plus members. So, um, yeah, you're a lot of what we're seeing is just kind of uncovering and remembering who we are. And so tonight we're getting into your key to prosperity, your most natural relationship to money. And these are kind of the keynotes of each one. It's your conscious personal law and protection. And it's line 1 is simplicity, or like feng shui, less is more. 2 is recognition. 3 is celebration. Line 4 is charity. Line 5 is leadership and power. And 6 is nature and sustainability. So overall, your key to prosperity is your most natural relationship to money. It represents your key to prosperity, which is not just wealth, but true prosperity. So it's your life where you're contributing, you're in alignment, you're in flow, you're in the highest expression of your work in the world, and how you can serve from your natural genius, your unique genius, the way you're designed to do things, versus trying to go get a job and make money, which is kind of how we've all been brought up. And your key to prosperity is where you prosper not by having to try to make money, but by aligning your inner frequency with service. So it represents your highest expression of service, the frequency that unlocks prosperity, the natural outcome of living in alignment with your genius. So your activation sequence and your heart. And then the cleanest, clearest transmission of your gift to the world. So it's exciting, yeah? So for you, Roman or Kevin, whoever wants to share first, what line do you have on the L on the right side of your chart, and your conscious, or on your conscious side on after L? It should be like a point.
I have 23.5 for conscious
For
on
the
the
L,
conscious. Yeah, for the L, 23.5.
23.5. Okay.
Longitude. I'm just kidding.
So 5 is, I believe, power and leadership.
Hmm.
And then how about you, Kevin?
I got 63.2 on the L on the right side.
Okay, so it's 63.2. So 2 is recognition.
That
So
makes sense.
that makes sense? Great. I love it. I love the ahas, like a little light bulb flashes. Uh, okay. So what number did you say? 63.2? I heard point 2, but I forget what the other number was.
My service kind of cut out. It is 63.2.
Okay. Okay. So the actual trait makes an impression also, but I don't, I'm not going to put 64 traits in here, obviously. So I'm just going through the lines. And then you can kind of look through those on your own. But in general, like in the kind of like the keynote version of 63 is after completion doubt, which is sort of in your head area. It's the spiral of life that ends in all ends are beginnings. And then line 2 is structuring. That's just like the keynote of it. After completion doubt. In the spiral of life, all ends are beginnings. And then there's different frequencies of it. There's like a shadow, a middle, and then like the highest frequency of it. So we can go through the spectrum. So we'll start with line 1. So if you have line 1, you prosper through simplicity, integrity, and self-containment. You don't need to chase. You need to stay grounded in what's essential. When you're rooted in truth and not distracted by comparison or pressure, wealth finds you. And this is the path of inner certainty and clean intention. Prosperity is rooted in being clean, clear, and grounded. You don't need a crowd or spotlight, just alignment with what feels true. You thrive when you strip away what's unnecessary and stick to the essentials. Others trust you because you're consistent and self-possessed. You don't chase wealth, you attract it by being unshakably you. And prosperity grows from your clarity of intent, not from doing more. So line 1 is always the line of kind of like introspection and research. And then these are kind of a little bit more in depth into line 1 in this particular position of your key to prosperity, which is purity. So since we don't have anyone with line 1, we'll move on to the next one, which is line 2. So you said that you had a line 2, which is passion for you, Kevin, and you prosper through your natural enthusiasm, flow, and love for life. You radiate a frequency of joy and ease when you're aligned, and your work should feel like an extension of play. And prosperity follows your spontaneous expression, not effort. You prosper through joy, grace, and spontaneous expression. You're naturally magnetic when you're doing what you love. Your prosperity is tied to your pleasure and enthusiasm. You're more prosperous when you're not trying too hard. You're here to show that joy is a business strategy. And when you follow your natural rhythm, opportunities find you. So you don't need to push, you need to enjoy the ride.
That's awesome. That's completely accurate.
That's great. And then when you synthesize that with the 63, let me see if I can find something for you real quick. So 63 is from truth to doubt. So the highest expression of it is truth, embodiment, and direct knowing. And then kind of the inside line, the gift is inquiry. So questioning that opens up minds. So inquiry, so inquiring into people. And the shadow side is doubt, self-doubt or doubting others, which, if you're going to be a coach, then your belief in them is going to be really essential. Almost like the placebo effect. Like the placebo effect works in various ways. Like if you believe that this pill is going to work for you and it's going to heal you, it will. It's the law of faith. But the law of faith also applies in the placebo effect. So when a doctor believes that the patient is going to get well, even if it's a placebo and the doctor thinks it's real, then the client will heal because the doctor believes that the client will heal. Did that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. You definitely don't want to coach anybody that you can't see their higher version of themselves or them in a higher light. You definitely don't want to coach anyone that you can't see their highest, potential.
Yes,
Absolutely.
exactly. Yeah,
Right.
there was a placebo effect about that, which I forget what it was, but I think it was like an anti-anxiety med that the doctor thought was a real medicine, and it wasn't. It turned out that it was a placebo for the doctor and for the patients. So, but it still worked on the patients because the doctors thought that it was a real pill. So yeah.
Right.
What's that?
I said, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah. Yeah. So your prosperity comes from your natural ability to question assumptions and not to create confusion, but to kind of unlock a deeper understanding and truth. And then it would be like a passion frequency of meaning your gift is most magnetic when it feels effortless and creative and playful. So you don't need to prove the truth, but you can embody curiosity and invite others to their own deeper inquiry. So for you, a prosperity path could be natural curiosity, natural artistic expression, inviting others to deeper inquiry. So yeah, I mean, that's something for you to look up a little deeper into the 63 and the 2, but the 2 in this line in the L is always going to be passion. So you're bringing passion into I guess truth. And joyful flow and magnetism, creative expression. Line 2 again is the embodiment of something where you're not trying, you're just a natural. Line 2 is about being the natural. It's just like the artist that's painting, or the singer that's singing, or the dancer that's dancing. They're not trying to prove themselves, they're just doing their thing naturally. And then line 3 is celebration, which is my line. So I prosper by enjoying the dance of life. And I'm trying to, I have this like AI assistant that's here. I don't know why. I don't need an AI assistant. Ask AI assistant. Anyway. So line 3 is carrying the spirit of experimentation, adventure, and storytelling. You have an ability to roll with change and keep things light and magnetize abundance. Leading by example, showing others how to embrace life, chaos, and just everything. Just embrace it all. And line 3 is prosper through experimentation, play, and being fully alive. And the gift is showing others how to live with lightness in the unknown and being here to embrace trial and error without shame. Prosperity comes when you let life be messy and fun and dynamic, teaching others that success isn't static, it's a moving celebration. People are drawn to your authenticity, humor, and realness. And abundance flows when you don't overthink, you just dance with the process. And so line 3 is always going to be about that trial and error. So the energy of line 3 in celebration of the prosperity key is just celebrating the small wins along the way. And I can see how that's really important for myself as a line 3, just because I can feel very much like I'll do something and I'll accomplish something and then I need to move on like right away and then do the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. I have so much pressure in my chart. Um, like I've got the head center or the head pressure and like the root pressure, and it's like I'm in this pressure sandwich. We're all in a pressure sandwich, and it all comes out through the voice. So like that's why our voice and what we say and our message is so important, because it's literally the output of this pressure coming in from the top of our head and our root, and then it comes out through our mouth. So all the energy in our body and in our chart is leading to the throat. And the communication and action function. Yeah, so even as I'm creating this, it's kind of an experiment, I guess, to take all of this wisdom and knowledge and everything I've learned over the last 5 years with this system and with BG5 to start to teach it. And I wasn't even allowed to teach BG5 until just this last month, because I had to get 30 of the 50 weeks through. So I'm just starting to teach it since I'm now allowed to teach it. So yeah, it's a process. It's just getting up and getting moving, and it's a moving celebration. So every day I'm just celebrating little wins. Right now I'm celebrating not drinking coffee and headaches. I'm celebrating headaches. I'm just kidding. I'm not celebrating, but I'm celebrating the fact that I'm moving in the right direction. All right, line 4. This is Roman. So influence. You prosper through your heart-centered influence and network of relationships. Your gift is emotional resonance. So when people trust you, they support you. You are here to create prosperity through connection, loyalty, and service to others. You prosper through relationships, emotional connection, and trust. You're here to build a heart-centered prosperity. People invest in you because they feel your sincerity and loyalty. Your network is your net worth, literally. You thrive when you're serving your community with love, and you magnetize abundance through empathy, warmth, and reliability. And your business for you is not transactional, it's relational. Does that hit the spot, Roman?
I'm actually a 5, and that actually
you're-
sounds fun
Oh,
too.
you're-
I wouldn't mind living that line either.
Oh, you're a 5. Okay, so let's move on to the 5. I thought you said 4. I wrote down 4 for some reason.
Okay.
You're a 38-4?
I am a 23-5 for line L. Or I mean, yeah, 23-5.
I don't know how I got that so off. 23-5. Maybe that was for somebody.
It's the coffee or lack of. Just kidding.
Probably lack of. Yeah, it takes a few days to detox from that stuff. I've been living off of several espresso shots every day. I got a Nespresso, and it's like a $10 coffee every morning. They're delicious, but I have to calm down.
Well, it'd take time for your body to readjust. Like
Yeah,
building
it
new
takes about a
neurons.
week. It takes about a week for the body to kind of resettle. I need more sleep, not coffee. So I'm trying to reset my nervous system and everything like that. Get on a regular sleep pattern. All that good
You
stuff.
got it.
Cool. All
One
right.
second.
So, what?
I got a fire truck driving by.
Oh, that's cool. I can't even hear. All right. So line 5 is power or leadership. So you prosper through empowered leadership, bringing clarity and strategic impact. You're here to take bold, visible action and bring practical solutions to the world. So line 5 is about leadership and practical solutions. So if you have 5 in your chart or anywhere in your line, like I'm a 5-1 in my public role, so I bring practical solutions overall in my brand. But for you, that's specifically in this area, you bring practical solutions to the world, and how you prosper is by making solutions practical. And people follow your lead when you speak truthfully and lead from your core. You're here to be seen and heard, not to hide. Prosperity comes when you own your role as a guide or a change maker. You bring clarity to chaos, and people trust your solutions. You are designed to lead, influence the collective, and scale ideas. And money flows when you take visible, impactful action. And you prosper most when you stop people pleasing and stand in your truth.
Hooray. That sounds, it lands. Yeah, it does. Like I said, it's a complete 180 spin from like how I was raised and conditioned as a child and adult, so it's like, yeah, I can't see me. I have to like really get into a high leadership role in my particular organization, or just become that outside. So, and that makes sense. There's a lot of unnecessary struggle going around globally, but just within my state. And yeah, I mean, I'm here for the betterment of all. I don't want to thrive or be abundant or live in prosperity if that doesn't mean the rest of us can't either. It should be a typical situation. So I like it. I'll start studying up on that. Yeah.
Great. So the 23 is in your communication and action function. And so it's going to be really about you speaking up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the 23 is about this distillation, taking what's complex and expressing it with pure clarity, saying more with less.
Okay.
So often with breakthrough insights or like sudden knowing, it's kind of like the genius of simplicity. So that's that 23 mixed with the 5 power and leadership, with using your voice, visible leadership, empowerment, practical impact. So you lead by simplifying things, essentially, cutting through all the noise and giving out the clear, potent essence.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. It's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good time to be alive. Born when I was born. Yeah, makes sense. I'm right where I need to be right now. I love it.
Good time to be alive. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a voice, a powerful presence and a voice. So you bring resolution and insight, and that's literally how you get prosperity. You use your voice, you speak up, you lead with courage, and have practical clarity, not diluting your message, but with bold clarity, impactful, and your voice creates shifts for people.
All right, looking forward to it.
Your prosperity key. Power.
Yeah. All right, 1 second. My kiddo's here. All right, thank you, Gigi. I'm here still. Okay. I'm loving it. Yeah. I'm liking where this is going.
All right, so the next one is line 6, which is education. So the line 6 is the highest role of like this person kind of on the roof looking down with the highest perspective. And the line 6 always develops in 3 stages. So it's like 0 to 30, 30 to 50, and then 50 and onward. 50 is usually when the line 6 kind of fully comes into embodiment. And so depending on wherever you have a 6 in your chart, it's when it's going to come in full maturity is around 50 years old. So just know that wherever you have those 6s in your chart, you're still growing in that energy. And so you don't have to feel like you're behind or anything like that. Like, for example, for me, I have the 1-6. So, and then the 1 is all about like creativity and self-expression and art and painting and stuff like that. And literally, like, like when I become 50, I'm probably going to become a famous painter or something because I have like the 1.6. So anyway, yeah. If you're behind, or you feel like you're behind, or you're not like really moving forward in any area where you have a line 6, just know that it has those stages, and so like it takes a while to develop. You have to get the experience. And it just about takes 50 years. So yeah, gotta learn patience. All right, so the line 6 in your prosperity key is education. So you prosper through visionary wisdom and embodiment of higher purpose. You're not driven by material wealth, but by legacy. Your prosperity is long range. It grows through mentorship, refinement, and modeling a better way of living and serving. And you're here to model a better way of living and leading. Your prosperity is built over time. You're not here for quick wins. People are drawn to your elevated perspective and calm presence. You teach others by being the message, not just speaking it. Prosperity flows when you lead with integrity and vision. And your wealth lies in the legacy you leave, not just the income you earn. So those are the prosperity keys. Is anything you guys would like to add to that before we move on? Or we can just move on.
No, I'm complete with that.
Great.
Roman, would you like to trade prosperity keys? Yours sounded better.
I don't know if I can. I guess that I might like incorporate like having to change DNA and like this is my design, it's yours. But I'll help you. Get you your prosperity.
So I have an off the wall question. Are we able to change our genetic code, or is this set in stone?
It's set in stone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's set in stone. It's learning to love yourself, Kevin.
Right. But
All
also
right.
too, it's also like when you get your design down, you can find people that will amplify areas for you, right? Like getting the right people that work in your design and
That's the
really
key.
thrive will really get.
That's literally what it's all about. Like, so
Okay, perfect. Yeah, he's
what
good. You're in good hands.
what
Kevin.
BG5 stands for is base group 5. So it takes about 3 to 5 people, which is where they came up with this silly name, BG5. It takes about 3 to 5 people to fulfill your design for your purpose in your life. So there's 12 traits inside of goes from your throat, your communication action function, to your identity function, to your sacral or your energy resource. There's 12 traits, and you probably have some of them, but not all of them. And you need all of those 12 traits lit up to fulfill the work that you came to do, essentially 3 to 5 people. And so anywhere where you have a trait where there's only one side of the line and not the other is where you need the other person. So when you look at your chart, you're going to see all these lines where it doesn't have the other side. So that's where you need other people in your life. So you're not designed to do this alone. So any place where you have a number or a trait or something that you're not like fully excited about, you can rely on the other, you can connect with the other, you can develop relationships, partnerships with the other, and that's where they can complete that strength for you. When you have both sides, it's considered a strength. Does that help you, Kevin?
Yeah, that does. Yeah, that's fascinating. That's fascinating. So, do you just need like these people around you, or what extent would be their involvement? I guess this seems like a team building exercise.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the people that you start to work with, you can start to incorporate their design. And if you have a personal assistant, you can work with their design. If you start to hire people, you can look at their design. If you hire a coach, you can look at their design. If you yeah, I mean, various different partnerships that you have, start to practice looking at their design to see how they fit in. Maybe like at a good friend of yours, you can look at their design and just see kind of energetically what they have that you don't have and why that feels like such a good fit together. And you'll probably see you have all different kinds of traits where they're completing the other side of your line. Because like when we meet somebody, you know how you meet someone and you're like, oh, you complete me. You ever felt that feeling? Or like the Jerry Maguire movie, you complete me.
Of course.
Yeah, it's literally the energetics. We're like feeling the energetics of our design. It's like when we feel that, they're actually filling in our openness with their definition. So it's really fascinating that there's a map that shows this stuff that we've been feeling all along, but this actually shows.
Yeah, this is profound.
I don't know why I feel so good when you say that. I'm like, yeah, it is profound, isn't it?
I think it's really profound because it's like, so not only can you add value and you're living in your best like realm and frequency, but like it's just the added value you can add to another human being's life. And I just like, it speaks to this prosperity and abundance that, like the sky is the limit when we start to view, life in this new way versus just, oh, this is just my coworker, this is my boss, or my company. Start to really see the full potential of life and people. So I'm excited, man.
Yeah, and like people can water people down with astrology too, and like, oh, you are this or that, and just put them in a box. Versus like the full spectrum of what you're looking at is like there is so much intricacy to each person. And so this really just expands how we see people, and also I feel like it just creates a lot of empathy, just because where we have all that openness, we're so conditioned to like be our not self, to do all these things that we're not designed for.
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree.
You have a lot more empathy for people just because like we're all conditioned in so many ways. And we're all trying to get to being ourself, essentially. And with this, we can actually see ourselves. So then the next section, let's see where we at. About 15 more minutes or so. I'll get through as much as we can. Your conscious grounding and balance. So the next line down, the second line down on the right side under G is your evolution. This is kind of like your challenge in life. This is where you are shapes your growth and your pressure point, and it helps you to mature. It grounds your conscious core essence, which is your life work. And this grounding energy is essential for embodying your core gift. So it's the embodiment of it. And as you overcome this challenge, you activate your true power and you stabilize your genius. And so the key is not to avoid or suppress this energy, but to embrace it as your path of growth and inner transformation. So what number are you guys on this one?
Is this
G,
for?
you said
Oh, go
G,
ahead.
right?
Jeff.
Go
Yeah,
ahead, Roman.
G.
Well, I was
It's
just gonna ask: is this
it's
unconscious
the
or
same.
conscious?
It's the same on the first two lines and the second and on the right and the left. So it's the E and the G on the right are the same number after the decimal, and then on the E and the G on the left, it's the same number after the decimal. So it's on G on the right side on conscious, under G it would be the decimal.
I'm a 0.4 on the conscious side.
A 0.4. Okay.
Yeah. Gates 12.4 and 11.4.
Okay, you're 11.4.
Right.
All right. And then how about you, Kevin?
See, for G on the right side, I'm a 8.5, and G on the left side, I'm a 55.1.
Okay, so we're looking at the right side.
Okay.
So the right side would be 8.5 under G. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so you're a 5. You're like me. I'm a 5, and then Roman is a 4. Okay. So and then also it depends on the trait, the number of the before the line. So I'm a 56, 5, and 56 is in the voice in the throat and communication and speaking up. And so for me, it's well, I can speak more when I get to the line 5 about my number. But okay, we'll start with 1. So 1 is introspection, and it's moving from insecurity to inner stability. And the 1 is creating a strong internal foundation through knowledge, certainty, and structure. And the challenge is self-doubt. So it's questioning worth, competence, security. And then your growth comes from owning your depth, trusting what you know, and building unshakable inner confidence. And then the way to grow is to study deeply, build slowly, and trust and strengthen you've earned through mastery. Again, line 1 is the studying, the research line. So you evolve through this introspection, creating stability through introspection instead of feeling insecure. So then line 2 is naturalness and response, from rejection to natural expression. This line 2 is always about being the natural. Your challenge is feeling unseen, misunderstood, or exposed, and you may hide your gifts or feel awkward being in the spotlight, but your growth comes through accepting your own brilliance and letting others see you as you are. You're not meant to force your gifts, you're meant to let them be discovered. And your growth path is to embrace solitude, trust your magnetism, and respond to the right invitations. Line 3 is adaptation. So trial and error, from being unstable or instability to adaptability. And it's learning by experiencing life firsthand through trial and error. And your challenge is wanting consistency, but feeling life is chaotic or unpredictable. Your superpower is flexibility. So you're meant to pivot, adjust, and bounce back, and every mistake teaches you how to thrive. And you can kind of apply this, like wherever you have 3 lines, you can kind of listen wherever you have a 3 line in your chart that, it sort of has some energy to it of, the mistakes and learning from experience. But this one is just partial to your personal growth and evolution. And then your growth path is to own your journey, share your process, and teach through lived experience. So for you, Roman, you're line 4. You're all about connection and heart. And your evolution is to move from disappointment to heart-driven connection. So those deep emotions.
So that speaks.
that speaks. Is that what you said?
Yeah, like completely. As far as like shifting from disappointment,
Mm-hmm.
that's been like a go-to mood in life, you know. But it's shifting. I mean, it's definitely shifting. My daughter's like a big wake-up call. Like, like lead by example is like a thing I need to put above, like on top of my ceiling when I wake up, because it's like, you can give her, you can give our children everything we've went through, or you can create the possibility of them having a future they want to design. Um, so that's kind of like getting past the disappointment that I was raised in from like my parents, and then, you know, now shifting into a heart-driven connection, and that makes sense. I like it. Not like I can.
Fantastic. Fantastic. And yeah, and you deeply care about about people. So that's, that's why you have that heart-driven connection, is because you do care, but you have a challenge of this closed-heartedness or resentment when trust is broken, or when you have hard times with family, or they do things to upset you. So you can tend to be closed off, but you want to be open. And you may struggle with expectations not being met, but your growth lies in keeping your heart open, learning forgiveness, and building communities rooted in trust and loyalty.
Yeah, it sounds like what the planet might need right now. So that works.
Planet Mind needs some trust and loyalty. Uh, and then your growth path is fall in love with humanity again, with some heart. Serve through connection, not protection. Connection, not protection.
Oh. Well,
All right. And then moving on to line 5. So for you, Kevin, and for myself, our evolution is leadership and projection, from control to empowered leadership. So our challenge is wanting to fix or control everything.
That sounds accurate.
Yeah.
It sounds accurate.
And we often feel the weight of others' expectations. And so we're here to offer practical solutions, but not from obligation. True growth happens when you lead from clarity, not control, and trust that the right people will follow your empowered example. And the growth path is to let go of saving everyone and step into leadership from truth, not pressure. So yeah, so for my line, I'm a 56.5. So 56 is storytelling, and it's like this wanderer. So I have done a lot of wandering. Like whenever I was just didn't know what to do, I would just put on my roller skates and I would go wandering. Like I would go wander on the beach, and used to involve alcohol, not anymore, but I still wander. But
That's hilarious.
I don't wander with alcohol in my Slurpee cup anymore. Vodka in my Slurpee on skates.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I was a riot. Yeah, but I needed wandering for inspiration, because I was constantly looking for inspiration, because like the 56 is in the throat, but the other side is the 11, which I don't have the 11. I think that Roman has it, but I have the 56. So, and the 11 I think is ideas. So the 56 is like the storytelling, and the other side is the 11, which brings ideas. And then so I constantly would just be like searching for inspiration. Like I wanted inspiration, so I would wander. My lesson from this is to speak up and to share these stories, and to lead with it, to share and to not try to control every little thing, but to empower leadership. So I haven't always been in a position of leadership. I think my voice was very suppressed as a kid. I just felt like I'd always say something at the wrong time, or it was 1 second early or 1 second late, and yeah, I just didn't feel like I wanted to speak up. So it was very interesting to learn that like I'm supposed to use my voice and be a storyteller and embody leadership. So that was like, wow, okay, I've got to step up. So it's not necessarily what comes naturally to us. It's you know, where we this one is where we evolve into. And then you said you were an 8, 5.
Yeah, I'm an 8.
Um, mm, um, the 8 is from mediocrity to style exquisiteness. 8 is the gift of authentic contribution. So exquisiteness is the highest vibration of it, and it's the divine signature of true individuality and being fully embodied. And then the gift is this style, which is authentic, bold self-expression that inspires people. And then the shadow is mediocrity, so trying to fit in, dampening your individuality. So yeah, if you're in the shadow, you're like feeling pressure to be accepted, so you dim your light, not to disrupt the group, fear of judgment, being too much.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Yeah. And then you're gonna kind of step out of that by influencing others, by being yourself fully, unapologetically, and then your unique style can kind of become your leadership signature style. And then when you own your individuality, you give others permission to do the same. And that's your
Right. Right.
Yeah. And then the highest expression of that, which is becoming exquisitely yourself. And transcending imitation or influence to enter the realm of creative divinity. Yeah, so you're challenged to become visible, to be who you really are, even when people want to project other things on you, because the 5 is the projection. So people who have the line 5, like myself, like we get projected on that we're going to be the savior or something. I think you're a 5-1. Is that what you are? The left side is 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So that's like the researcher, like the there's another word for researcher. The
Investigator.
yes, there's another word I'm looking for. That's the authority. You become an authority because you research so much. You become an authority messenger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
And then I think for Roman, I don't know if Roman is still on. I think Roman might have fallen off. All right, so we'll pass on going through that one for Roman. Okay, and then I don't think we said line 6. Line 6 is the vision embodiment, from withdrawal to embodiment of wisdom. And then line 6 carries vision and high ideals, but the challenge is disconnecting or feeling disillusioned. Line 6 may observe from a distance and hesitate to engage, but the growth lies in returning to life, choosing to embody what you know, and becoming a living role model of your truth. And the growth path is to integrate your wisdom into everyday life and model what's possible with patience and grace. So that is the evolution. There's also the sun, which is the, let me see. I didn't write. I wrote the wrong word up on the top there. I'm supposed to say radiance instead of your evolution. But we're at the hour, so we can just cut it off here and then continue on tomorrow. What do you think?
Oh, that sounds good. I appreciate your time today. Thanks, Gigi.
You're welcome. Any last insights you'd like to share?
Um, Sometimes it's better to ask for forgiveness than to ask for permission. In light of not caring what other people think, I guess, and speaking my truth. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. That's all I got.
Well, I think everyone goes through that kind of worrying about what other people think. And it's just at some point we just let it go. I can just realize their opinion is irrelevant, kind of,
Right.
because they're projecting their ideas on us of what they think we should do. I mean, how many people have said to me, I would be great at sales or whatever. Oh, you should try this, Gigi. You should try that. Like you should try whatever. My ex was like, you should try solar. You should come do solar. I was like, no. Like, no, I think you should really check it out. He's like very persistent. So like literally I spent 2 years like studying solar and became a solar representative and like went super off track from what I'm supposed to do.
Oh man.
Yeah. And it's like other people's opinions, like what other people think we should do.
Only you know what you should do.
Really? I mean, we like when you start to look at your design, you're just like, what does it matter what they think? They're not me. Like they can, and they're going to project on you as a line 5 all day long.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.